What's up guys, it's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you a Gears of War Reloaded video. Let's get into it. So guys, one of the things that we have been talking about a ton on the YouTube channel is the Gears of War collection. Well, that's at least what we thought it was going to be called, but lo and behold, we get Gears of War Reloaded, which is actually really interesting that this, got announced at this point in time. We did, if you guys have tracked what we've talked about on the YouTube channel, we've talked about the Gears of War collection coming out summer of 2025 to build hype and anticipation for Gears of War E-Day in 2026. And lo and behold, guys, it's not called the Gears of War Collection. It's called Gears of War Reloaded. And this is an article coming to us from Microsoft, guys. Mike Crump, who's the studio head at the Coalition. Gears of War Reloaded comes to Xbox Series XS, Xbox PC, Xbox Cloud Gaming, PlayStation 5, and Steam in summer 2025. So guys, the leaks were true when it came to this being, cross-platform. And I am incredibly excited that we are finally getting a Gears of War title that is going to be not just an Xbox exclusive, but it's going to be coming to PlayStation as well as Steam. And that is probably the best news that the Gears of War community could possibly get, because now, guys, finally, after all these years, PlayStation users are going to be able to play Gears of War. Finally, it's not just an Xbox exclusive, and it'll be interesting to see if they decide to make Gears of War E-Day on cross-platform as well, and that would be really interesting, but this is absolutely setting it up for that. There's no doubt about it. Now, we got a graphic, guys, for Gears of War Reloaded, and look, I'm incredibly excited, but I gotta tell you, I'm not a huge fan of the way that the new look looks like for Gears of War Reloaded. I think that the original looked way cooler than this one. I mean, yes, guys, it looks very similar, obviously, but with those, like the updates that they made for Reloaded in terms of just this picture, I'm not a huge fan of it. I like the original way more. I think Marcus just looked bigger. He looked more of a badass, at least in my opinion. But once again, it's just the, front cover of Gears of War Reloaded. And the name itself, I think that the Gears of War collection would have been awesome just because it would have been all three of those, the original trilogy. This one is taking us back to the original Gears of War. And obviously, I'm just excited that we're getting a Gears, something Gears of War this year that we can sink our teeth into. Obviously, the name Gears of War Reloaded, I mean, I think it's fine for sure. I don't think it's, anything earth-shattering. And the front cover art, I don't like it as much as the original Gears of War, cover art. But nonetheless, the name and the cover art isn't going to be the thing that makes or breaks the game, whether it's going to be good, bad, or great. And so, that being said, those things are just little nitpicky things that I have about, Gears of War Reloaded. But let's get into everything that we know so far about this title. So guys, the original Gears of War returns faithfully remastered and natively optimized for more platforms than ever before as Gears of War Reloaded. Gears of War Reloaded launches August 26, 2025 for $39.99 on Xbox Series X, S, Xbox PC, Xbox Cloud Gaming, PlayStation 5, and Steam, and arrives day one with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass. You can play on Xbox Series X, S, Xbox PC, and Xbox Cloud Gaming with Xbox Play Anywhere. Gears of War Reloaded supports cross-play and cross-progression across all platforms. Xbox fans who own the digital version of Gears of War Ultimate Edition receive a free upgrade to Gears of War Reloaded. I think that's absolutely awesome, guys. Really cool that they're giving a free upgrade to those of you who have Gears of War Ultimate Edition or got it, in terms of the digital version. Now let's jump into what this game really is going to all encompass and, some of the specs and things of that nature. Well, Gears of War Reloaded is a celebration of one of gaming's most iconic franchises, featuring 4K resolution, 120 FPS support, and the ultimate multiplayer experience with cross-progression and cross-play across all platforms. This is the definitive way to experience the game that started it all. And guys, I'm really excited that it's going to be 120 frames per second, but what is so exciting is that this is going to have multiplayer. Obviously, guys, there was a lot of talk that the Gears of War collection, what we know now as Gears of War Reloaded, was not going to have multiplayer and was potentially not even going to have co-op. And so this tells us we're getting a multiplayer experience for, Gears of War Reloaded, which is incredibly exciting because it's going to bring you back to the experience over and over again after beating the campaign. And those of you who have never played Gears of War on PlayStation, they're going to get an opportunity to not only play the story, but then play the multiplayer, which is going to grow this thing in a major way. I believe that. I truly do. Well, as we approach the 20th anniversary of Gears of War in 2026, we're reflecting on what this franchise means. It's about the stories we've told, the friendships we've built, and the unforgettable moments we've shared together. With Gears of War Reloaded, we're opening that door to more players than ever. Originally released in 2006, Gears of War Reloaded brings the full experience forward once again. Enhanced for the latest hardware across multiple platforms, introducing the Gears of War franchise to a new generation of players. Developed by the Coalition in partnership with Sumo Interactive and Disbelief, Gears of War Reloaded launches August 26, 2025 for $39.99 on Xbox Series X, S, PC, Xbox Cloud Gaming, PlayStation 5, and Steam, and arrives on day one with Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass. And then, of course, guys, you can play on Xbox Series X, S, PC with Xbox Play Anywhere. Gears of War Reloaded includes the full breadth of content from the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, delivering the most complete version of the original game to date. Players will gain immediate access to all post-launch downloadable at no additional cost. This includes the bonus campaign act, all multiplayer maps and modes, and a full roster of classic characters and cosmetics unlockable through progression. So obviously, guys, look, this is Gears of War 1, just fully remastered, and I cannot be more excited about it, guys. I'm so excited not only to play, these Unreal Engine 5, graphics and all of those things, but also having that full-blown multiplayer experience is going to be absolutely incredible. Gears of War Reloaded is built for shared play, whether you're teaming up in split screen or jumping online. The campaign supports 2-player co-op, and versus multiplayer allows up to 8 players. With cross-play across all platforms, you and your friends can squad up no matter where you play. No Microsoft account required. Awesome, man. However, signing in with a Microsoft account unlocks full cross-platform functionality. It enables cross-progression so your campaign and multiplayer progress carries across devices. It also allows you to send invites and play with friends across platforms like Xbox to PlayStation or Steam to Xbox. So absolutely awesome. You guys can see these images, man, just the way that the game looked, all the way back when it released in 06. And then we've got Gears of War, the Ultimate Edition, certainly had some upgrades without question. And then Gears of War Reloaded at 60 frames per second, guys. I mean, my gosh, and goes all the way up to 120. It's incredible, right? We've got, 60 frames per second in campaign, 120 frames per second in multiplayer. Absolutely incredible. Graphics look absolutely stunning. I cannot wait, not only for the campaign, but also the multiplayer here. So you got 4K resolution, guys. Like I said, 60 frames per second in campaign, 120 frames per second in multiplayer, high dynamic range, Dolby Vision, spatial audio, variable refresh rate, 4K assets and remastered textures, enhanced post-processing visual effects, improved shadows and reflections, super resolution, and then 0 loading screens during campaign. Absolutely awesome, man. From faster frame rates to deeper visual fidelity, every detail has been turned to bring the original game into the present with clarity, smoothness, and immersion that matches the power of today's hardware. So I think really, guys, this is Reloaded is designed to set up Gears of War E-Day. I believe that with, everything. I mean, I think that was what originally, when we were talking about the leaks and the speculation of Gears of War's collection, which we know now is Gears of War Reloaded, Reloaded was always going to be designed to set up Gears of War E-Day and the future of the Gears of War franchise. It was designed to quench our thirst for the next Gears of War title. Obviously you can look at it from the perspective of it would have been awesome to have a collection of all 3 games, remastered 1, 2, and 3. I mean, one of the most classic trilogies in the history of gaming. It would have been awesome to do that. Now, the possibility is, now that they're doing Reloaded, we could certainly get a Gears of War 2, Reloaded, or whatever they decide to call that at some point, and same thing with Gears of War 3. So, just because they're doing it just based around Gears of War doesn't mean that they're not going to do the other two at some point in the future. And wherever you play, we're meeting you there with the best version possible. Gears of War Reloaded includes platform-specific features that make the most of the hardware you already own to deliver a world-class Gears of War experience, faithful to the original, optimized for today, and made for everyone. And then lastly, guys, as a token of our gratitude to longtime fans, Gears of War Reloaded will be a free upgrade for players who purchased the digital version of Gears of War Ultimate Edition prior to today's announcement. And obviously, guys, it's going to be coming out on Xbox Game Pass, PC Game Pass. I mean, look, this is huge news for Gears of War, guys. I mean, look, Gears of War is 1000% back. Gears of War Reloaded is designed specifically to set up Gears of War E-Day. And I think part of the reason why they didn't do a collection of all three games, I believe the reason why they didn't do this is because they didn't want, because one of the concerns people had was if they bring out a collection and everybody loves that collection, and then Gears of War E-Day comes out and they don't like E-Day as much as the collection, they'll go back to the collection. This is specifically designed, guys, to get you hyped up for Gears of War E-Day. It's going to quench our thirst, and then once Gears of War E-Day comes out, everybody floods to E-Day. This is also designed to introduce Gears of War for the first time to PlayStation users. That's what this is for. It's so that everybody who has never played, the Gears of War franchise, who's just had PlayStation, for example, they will get a chance to play the very first Gears of War title that was ever created in a remastered setting, 60 frames per second in campaign, 120 frames per second in multiplayer. And, with the newest and latest hardware, this is going to be a perfect opportunity for them to promote that being Gears of War E-Day, which I believe will come out in 2026. The Gears of War Reloaded, guys, is going to be coming out, obviously, summer of 2025, and I couldn't be more excited about it, guys. August 26th, it's right around the corner. We're going to get our hands on this game, do a bunch of deep dives into this title, and I'm going to be creating a ton of content around Gears of War Reloaded, and I hope you guys will be with me on this journey. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you guys did, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below about what you think about Gears of War Reloaded. Are you hyped about it? Are you skeptical about it? What are your guys' thoughts here? Let me know in the comment section down below. And make sure that you leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, just keep grinding. And as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.